Both Nietzsche and Ye seem intent on not fitting in. Nietzsche critiqued the dominant world religions, identified the death of God, and sought to hold men to a higher standard through the creation of the Übermensch. Kanye has solidified himself as an icon, both famously and infamously, and has undeniably transformed the worlds of fashion, music, and media. These two agree that you must live according to your own metrics. The judgments of others are more or less meaningless, and the only true bar you can hold yourself to is one created with the knowledge that only you have of yourself and what you could become. This is the same idea put forward in Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil, where he argues that the values of Christianity create an uninspiring society. It is through his idea of the Übermensch that we can understand what he thinks people should strive to become. What is great in man is that he is a bridge and not an end. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and if you're looking for something new, I have built a group of people that every week gather to discuss the most important ideas from history, psychology, and philosophy. If that sounds interesting, check out the link in the description below. Nietzsche often celebrated the artist, musician, and creative as figures who embody the will to power, self-expression, and the ability to affirm life through creation and beauty. He admired their ability to engage with the world in a way that transcends logic, embracing intuition, spontaneity, and vitality. Kanye West. One strange kink in this comparison is Kanye's obsession with Jesus. Kanye has entire albums and songs in dedication of this Jesus character, but I thought Nietzsche was against Christianity since it created a meek and suppressed society. Well, Nietzsche disliked Christianity, but he respected Jesus specifically as a revolutionary figure and someone who lived in complete accordance with their inner convictions. He goes to great lengths to clarify this point in The Antichrist, one of his least known books. Additionally, Nietzsche saw Jesus as having transcended resentment, which he found admirable. This lack of resentment made Jesus unique and, in Nietzsche's view, distinct from the institutional Christianity that weaponized morality as a tool for control. We see this idea of the contradictions between the teachings of Jesus and the institutionalized practices and customs of Christianity brought to light in Dostoyevsky's The Brothers Karamazov, more specifically in the chapter The Grand Inquisitor. I actually went back and reread this chapter. In it, Jesus returns to Earth in the Spanish town of Seville at the height of the Inquisition. He is recognized immediately for his pure soul and performs miracles for the town. Incredulously and ironically, he is put in jail by the heads of the church, or the Grand Inquisitor, and is sentenced to be burnt to death the next day. The Inquisitor claims that Jesus, by rejecting the three temptations, to turn stones into bread, to jump from the temple and be saved by angels, and to rule over all of the kingdoms of the world, affirmed humanity's freedom. The Grand Inquisitor believes that Christ is the true burden of humanity, as he puts total freedom on men, which men don't actually want. There's an underlying belief here that most people do not have the capability to be this higher order person who's capable of being radically free. This is why the Grand Inquisitor condemns Jesus, and this is why Nietzsche says that very few people have the capability of becoming the Übermensch. So where does this leave us? Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch does not entirely reject the values of truth, love, humility, and justice, which Jesus extolled, but he reframes how these values should be understood and adopted. For Nietzsche, the key distinction lies in whether these values are embraced authentically and creatively or simply accepted passively. A person has to be deeply fearless to think for themselves and at times live counter to the zeitgeist values of the time. They may even be perceived as crazy. In many ways, Kanye embodies the Übermensch-like figure, someone who rejects societal norms, redefines values on their own terms, and lives unapologetically by their own standards.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Shut the fuck up.
One of these quotes is from Friedrich Nietzsche, the other is from Kanye West. Can you guess whose is whose? You may be able to tell that this first quote came from Kanye West, and the second came from Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra, but I see a deep connection here between these two ideas, and more broadly between these two individuals' views on the world. People always tell you, be humble, but when was the last time someone told you to be amazing, to be great? The secret for the greatest enjoyment of life is to live dangerously. Kanye said the first one, but he lives the second. He is unapologetically himself and is unafraid of backlash for speaking his mind. Kanye seems to live in accordance with Nietzsche's teachings. They both seem to agree that an average life is not worth living. Would you believe in what you believe in if you were the only one who believed it? Do you see now how this embodies Nietzsche's essential call to action? This is the question that when asked of the Übermensch, he responds with a resounding yes.